Okay, so I have a really strong reason to believe that inside my body of my composition I'm going to need paragraphs. But I have very little reason to believe that inside of my author I'm going to need paragraphs, or inside of my title I'm going to need paragraphs. Okay, and then there's another thing implied here that I want you to notice and pay attention to, and that's that there's always a great-great-great-grandparent of every other tag. There's always a top level. There's always the root. There's always the one that within which everything else lives. Okay, so we're always going to have this one. And this one I just invented my info. Okay. Yeah, question.
You consistent on the forward slash and backslash. What is correct? Because my info at the top doesn't have a, the rest of them.
Oh, okay. You're asking a question about the syntax.
Yes.
Okay. What's the difference between this tag and this tag? The myinfo tag and the title tag.
What about the bottom tag? Because I understand that the title is nothing in it, but
point to you for that typo right there.
okay.
And I even looked at this slide before class. I'm telling you, man.
And the closing body is missing the bracket. Yeah.
The second body.
This one?
Yeah. There's no end angle bracket.
Oh. All right, there you go. There you go. I can look at things 3 times, and I still have bunches of everything. All right. So was that the basis of your question? Or is it more a basic question about what's the difference between a myinfo tag and a title tag?
No, I got that.
Okay, so you got it. Okay.
Inconsistency.
Right. Okay. So if only I had done these right, you wouldn't have a question.
But this is syntax you've made up yourself also. I mean, we could make our own syntax up. Or is this strict XML syntax that just has a typo in it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is, I wouldn't want to say I made up my own syntax.
Okay.
I would want to say that I'm using or trying to use XML syntax and there was a bug in it.
Okay.
Everybody's okay with that? Yes.
So the title and author ones, why do they have a slash?
Okay, so that's a question that's not based on any problem that I have with my markup. This is a question that's based on how do I close a tag. The title tag is an empty tag, no content, and so it's also called a self-closing tag. The slash at the end of the tag self-closes that tag. Meanwhile, the myinfo tag or the body tag here is a tag that has an open tag and a separate close tag. Okay, so 2 ways of closing a tag. If there's no content inside the tag, I can close it in this way by having a slash after the name, like it is in this title tag. If I have content in the tag, then I can use method B, which is have an open tag and a separate closing tag. Okay? All right. So now I'm going to add attributes. And I'm going to call that, for purposes of the moment, additional information. And I want to say that my info tag also has a date, and the author tag also has an email. Now, could I have just invented a bunch of tags and put an email tag inside the author tag? I could have done that. And I want you to understand right at this fundamental juncture that that's a design decision. Whether I make something an attribute and put it inside the opening and closing brackets of an open tag, or whether I make it a separate child element, is a design choice. It's never a mandatory choice, except for one time. If something is going to have children, it can't be an attribute. Right? There's no place for me to have a child element inside of the email attribute. I can't put tags inside of there. And you're going to see that's something that's going to come up a number of times throughout this course. What if I can't? Well, if I can't put children in there, there's going to be some restrictions on it. So if my tag needs to have subtags, then it has to be an element. But in general, something like an ID, an email, a revision, a style, those are all design choices. And if you've grown up on HTML, like most people have, then you've already kind of embedded inside of yourself the way that HTML thinks about attributes versus elements. We'll get